Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, stepping away from tradition, we're going to have now our speeches, or toasts as they should be known, between our main course and our dessert. As I said, I am now going to hand over to my beautiful and perfectly formed assistant. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome, for a short period of time, your new Master of Ceremonies, Drew.
Wonderful introduction, thank you, sir. I don't know how to be a Master of Ceremonies, and so I had a very short introduction from Steve for today. So if I've even thought a whiff of the experience that man has, I'm hoping this will go well. So, distinguished guests. I would now like to introduce to you probably the proudest man in the room, and my father, Gareth Morgan. So, please put your hands together for the father of the bride.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, or I haven't managed to get to, yes, my name's Gareth, and I have the great honour of being Ellie's father. Whilst researching what a father of the bride speech should contain, I did come across a comment that I hope I can follow. A good speech is a lot like a selfie stick. It's got to be long enough to get everything in, but short enough to prevent you looking like an idiot. So let's hope this one's the right length. Val and I would like to extend a very, very warm welcome to Chris and all of her family, to relatives and friends of both families, and we'd like to thank you for joining us on this very special occasion to celebrate the marriage of our daughter Ellie to Paul. I'd also like to thank everyone who has helped in the lead up to the wedding in whatever way possible. This has all been very, very much appreciated. And I would like to say a special thank you to those of you who have made long journeys to be here with us today. And I know Ruth thought that they'd made the longest one, but actually Tom beats her by just a few thousand pounds. This day, the 5th of May, was obviously designed for weddings, it being the day in 1921 when the perfume Chanel No. 5 was released by fashion designer Coco Chanel. And somewhat earlier in history, in 1494, on his second voyage to the New World, Christopher Columbus sights Jamaica, landing at Discovery Cove. So there you are, Paul. Perfume or holidays, every anniversary. The other major event that happened on the 5th of May was actually today, when you heard the finest wedding speech of your entire lifetime. I just want to know whether it's Paul or Sean's going to make it. No pressure at all.
It's all on you, Jay.
No, I'm sure it's going to be on you, Sean.
So before I go any further, I just have to say how beautiful Ellie looks.
Yeah.
Today was the first time I actually saw the dress, and I just couldn't believe how stunning she looked when I actually first saw it. And I think by the look on Paul's face as he turned around as we were coming down the aisle, he thought exactly the same thing as well. And I am one very, very proud dad. And Anna, absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for being there for Ellie and for all the things you did this morning as well. And I suppose the blokes sort of managed to screw up pretty well too. Time flies by so quickly. It doesn't seem that long ago since Ellie was born. And here I am today speaking, or at least trying to, at her wedding. Ellie's a wonderful daughter. She's a very caring person and has given us so much joy and happiness over the years. She's a special young lady I'm very proud to call my daughter. and I'm sure Paul will be very proud to call his wife. All through her life, she has brought joy to her mother and to me. And whilst not every day has been perfect, the love we feel for her has been. Every father knows that one day his daughter will find a partner, fly the nest, get married. Every father also wishes the best of luck and worries about her finding that right man, one that will make her happy and look after her. I have no doubt that in Paul she's found just that man. The added bonus, of course, is that Ellie is not getting just one man, she's getting two. Paul's son Jack is very much part of this marriage, as you would have seen in the service this morning. Over the 3.5 years or so that Ellie and Paul have been together, we watched them grow into a family, and it has been our privilege to become honorary grandparents to Jack. I believe that tradition dictates that I should share a few stories about my daughter. I know Ellie's particularly nervous about this particular part of it, but there's no need to worry, Ellie. I won't embarrass you. We all now turn our attentions to the slate.
Oh dear.
Drew, how do I get to them? There we go. Can you all say that?
Yeah.
10 days old. At the age of 1, she starts decorating. We know whose daughter she is. And that's a bucket of paste, by the way. And she was trying to get into it. A year later, that's with my brother Craig, who would have loved to have been with us today, but unfortunately he was Ellie's age when we lost him. And then at 4 she turned into a little angel. And on her 5th birthday, here she is with one of her lifelong friends, Adele. Sorry, Adele. Best one I could find. And then we started to see the sort of interests that Ellie would like to develop in over her life. At 9, she starts out with her music. 10, we go into singing. And then 11 was cross-country running. This one didn't seem all that pleasurable.
Get to catch him somehow, don't you?
Off to secondary school until 11. This is where another great friendship developed between Ellie and a group of girls. Apparently they all used to walk around together wearing what I believe was the fashion then, long black coats. And this earned them the nickname, the Mafia. So it's actually nice to know that we have the Mafia here with us tonight. Ellie had always been a member of the church and came to church with us regularly. And this was Ellie at 13, playing the lead in one of our pantomimes, being Cinderella. And she also helped with the painting of some of the sets in later times, and this was one of her more ornate creations. And the whole of that peacock's house she actually painted herself. Ellie's love of music continued throughout the school, and she not only played in the school orchestra but also in the Wolverhampton Youth Orchestra with some of the aforementioned Mafia. This photo shows one of the youth orchestra tours to Prague in 2004 when Ellie was 18, and with David Woodyer and Keith Sedgbeer, the two conductors of the orchestra. And there's some more faces in there I seem to recognise as well. After leaving school, Ellie did a foundation course in art and then spent 3 years studying surface pattern design, resulting in her graduation here in 2008. It was while she was at university that she met Anna. Yet again, another long-lasting friendship. And I know that Ellie was delighted when Anna accepted the role of bridesmaid. Ellie has had several design jobs since then, and she now knows some really interesting facts about watches, ladies' hair accessories, curtain poles and window blinds. And I'm sure that you'll answer any questions you've got on those subjects later. In 2014, Ellie came on holiday with Val and I to Crete, where she carried on another interest, or hobby, looking at and collecting handbags and jewellery, hence the shop. On the same holiday, we went to visit Arcadi Monastery, and we happened to be stopped by one of the monks. He gave Ellie a rose from the garden and told her that she would return to the monastery one day with her own 3 children. So we're waiting to see if this prediction actually now turns out to be true. Not long after returning, she met Paul and Jack. So, we'll see. In 2017, we holidayed together in Madeira. This was more than 12 months since Paul had asked me if he could propose to Ellie. And guess what? On the 19th of August 27, he did. And we were all very, very pleased. During the time that Val and I have known Paul, we've come to realise how special he is to Ellie and how much of a kind, caring, pleasant and genuinely nice man he is. And what a great son-in-law he will be. Welcome to the family. As I mentioned earlier, we also have another young man who's become part of our lives. Most of the time, yeah. Jack, we have loved having you around and welcome you into the family as well. This is perhaps most poignant because of your decision to change your names to Morgan, and Val and I both feel very, very honoured that you've chosen to do this. We honestly believe you could not have met a nicer man. Chris, your son is an absolute credit to you. Thank you. They are both so happy and perfect match. Ellie, Paul and Jack, I know you'll have a great life together and be very happy. You are amongst people today who care and love you very much and wish you all happiness in the world. Val and I will always be there for you if you need anything, as I'm sure everyone else will be as well. I know you have a list for tradesmen, gardeners, carpenters, decorators and the like, with no names, your telephone numbers. And it did take me a while to realise they all have the same mobile number as mine. You know, we're always there to help. Well, I think my selfie sticks start to get a bit long now. So, as the father-in-law is supposed to give advice to his new son-in-law, don't worry. On this occasion, I will stick to 2. First one, love constantly, accuse slowly, forgive quickly, and share everything. And be each other's best friend. Second one to you, Paul. Whenever you're wrong, admit it. Whenever you're right, shut up. Finally, I would like to propose a toast to the happy couple and know that everyone here we want to join me in raising your glasses in a toast to a very long, happy and healthy future together. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding. Raise your glasses. When you're writing for it. Well, I believe it was a French author who said, when children find true love, parents find true joy. Take that one as you will. Ellie, Paul and Jack, here's to your love and our joy from this day forward. Paul, Ellie and Jack.
And so say all of us.
I know how brave and how hard it was to hold back the tears on that one, so please, another round. Such a good thing I used to be this Second up, I have the pleasure of introducing the happiest man in the room, my new brother-in-law, Paul. So please, put your hands together for the groove.
Thank you, Gareth, for that lovely speech. And the toast to myself and the beautiful wife. Ooh. Firstly, my wife and I would like to thank every one of you for coming to share this special day with us. We greatly appreciate having you all here, and not just for the donations to our honeymoon fund. Secondly, my wife and I would like to thank Ellie's parents, Val and Gareth, for so many things, namely hosting such a wonderful event today and all the help with organising it. All the support they've provided over the years, especially with renovating our lovely home and being honorary grandparents to Jack. I'd also like to recognise the amazing job they've done in raising Ellie, for nurturing such a kind, intelligent and loving and beautiful daughter. I think, Ellie, if you'd like to present a little token of our appreciation to your mum. Now, the general advice is that I give thanks for being welcomed into the family. However, since day one, I've always felt welcome. You really do feel part of a family when it's assumed that you'll visit every Sunday, 1 o'clock, without fail. Coincidentally, just in time for the roasting. Cheers, Pav.
Next time.
We'd also like to thank my mum, Christine, for all her love and support, especially supporting me with Jack, and also for enduring my somewhat unruly teenage years. There were some great parenting tips in there. You taught me to think of others, to give my all to everything I do, and to always remember my manners. Thank you. Etc. If I didn't listen at the time, then I hope I've made up for it since. You're a wonderfully strong woman who puts her family first, and we are proud to have you. And Ellie has also got another little gift just for you. My only regret today is that Dad isn't here to enjoy it, but I'm sure the bright spark is looking down, smiling on us. So we'd like to propose a toast. To absent friends and loved ones.
Absent friends and loved ones.
To the maid of honour, Anna. I'm sure everyone will agree when I say how dazzling you look.
Absolutely.
Not only are you a brilliant friend to Ellie, you are a friend to me and Jack too. I know Ellie loves the evenings you two spend together, partly as it gives her a chance to let off steam about living with two boys. And there's one more gift, Ellie, if you wouldn't mind.
Don't look at Mum, it makes it worse.
I ain't looking at them.
Don't do it. I hope they don't mind that this has got mascara all over it.
I know, it's a bitch.
And the best man, Sean. I'm reluctant to thank you for a heard your speech, but having you around to depend on when I need it most does deserve a big thank you. Although a wristwatch, frankly, could have done an equally good job.
Timekeeper, right?
A big thank you to the ushers. Stand up, guys. We've got Jack, Mark,
Hello, guys.
and Andy, and Andy.
And
Great job of serving up the canapes without eating too many of them yourselves, and looking very dapper too. Thank you.
Really?
We'd like to thank Helen, who unfortunately can't be here today. But without Helen, it's safe to say that Ellie and I would never have met. From babysitter through fashion consultant, hairstylist, agony aunt, and back to babysitter, she was there. For me. The first date, during which Ellie chatted up the wrong guy. Then, after gaining a free drink out of him, realised a mistake and came over to me. We drank beer, played table tennis, and I fell in love. All while Helen was looking after Jack. So, finally, just raise your glasses to Helen.
Helen.
Next, thanks to the OkCupid dating app. Where I found Ellie. With an 83% rating, whilst not the highest scorer, she was, by far, the most local. So, now to say thanks to my wife, Ellie, whom I adore. Not only putting up with my rotten sense of humour, but for also making my life come to life. Ellie has opened her arms to Jack, and she has opened her heart to me. Together, we have found true happiness, and for that, I am eternally grateful. Now, before I hand back to Drew, we'd like to propose a toast. To the maid of honour, the best man, and the ushers.
I'll drink to that.
To the people.
Everyone.
To everyone.
To everyone. To everyone still standing and not drunk enough.
That was pretty good. Thanks. I've been to other weddings before. So, to recap, we've had the proudest man in the group, my father, the happiest, and as a brother I have to say, luckiest man in the group. But now it's time for the bravest. A recently made good friend, sure. So please put your hands together for the best man.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Have you got a translator?
Have your aftermath.
How do you know that was me?
It's always
I was the wolf.
Who's got the biggest lungs? Good afternoon, everybody. Seriously, what an episode, right? So you can't guess, my name's Sean. Paul has bestowed upon me the honour of being his best man. I'd just like to start by reiterating what G and Paul have already said in thanking you all for being here. I'd also like to thank the groomsmen and Anna for all the work they've done today. I'd also like to thank Ellie for actually turning up, because I don't think any of us would have blamed her if she'd have run away. Cheers, bud. I'd like to thank you both for inviting me into this day. And I think I speak on behalf of the groomsmen and Anna for that sentiment as well. So I first met Paul about 10 years ago. We were working together and he randomly sat next to me. And I thought he was trying to chat me up.
You get 8%.
I still think he might be. But I'm not entirely sure. And after I'd initially quelled those fears, I realised we had quite a lot in common. By that I mean we both like drinking and gambling. So now you're all expecting me to tell an embarrassing story about Paul. In fact, I was offered up some material from various sources around the room. But that made me realise that we've all got those stories, and Paul does a good enough job of embarrassing himself for me not to do it now. So I thought I'd try something difficult and say something nice about it instead. So that's all from me. Seriously, I'd like to think that the time that I've spent with him, I've collated enough data to give a fair assessment of his character. So what can I say about Paul? I could stand here and tell you about how handsome and witty and courteous he is, but I'd be lying. However, there are a few adjectives that spring to mind when trying to describe Paul. Intelligent, loyal, honest, charming. To name but a few. And it's these attributes that will mean he will undoubtedly be an excellent husband, almost like everything else he picks up, because he's one of those annoying people who's instantly good at everything. Of course, married life does mean Paul will have to reassess the way he uses these attributes. For instance, he's always been good at problem solving. But now he has a wife, he'll learn very quickly that always having an answer doesn't mean he's always right. So if you'd have told me 10 years ago that I'd be given a speech at Paul's wedding, I'd never have believed you. Mainly because I didn't think he'd find a woman who would put up with him. But he has, and an incredible woman at that. And I need to say as well, what a great job Ellie is doing of
helping to shape a young adolescent mind into what will become, hopefully, one day, a mature, responsible adult. Doing a really good job with Jack as well, by the way. So Ellie has had a very positive influence on Paul. He's become a more responsible, well-rounded, positive, happy role model. Well, kind of. It's a work in progress, right? Kind of. So those of you that do know me will know that I'm probably not the best person to be standing here giving advice on marriage. So instead I've reworded some things that were told to me on my wedding day. Not that it actually did me any good. So there are two key components to a successful and happy marriage. Appreciation and encouragement. Appreciate everything that you do for one another, even the small things, and actively express that appreciation in every and any way possible. Encourage each other to strive to be the best at everything you do. Essentially become the head cheerleader in each other's life goals. I mean, pom-poms are optional. Hopefully that's more use to you two than it ever was to me. Failing that, Paul, just remember you only need 2 words in your vocabulary name. Yes, love. Anyway, like I'm sure you probably don't need my advice, as you already make a great team and more incredible family. I honestly can't say I don't know of a couple more deserving and well suited to each other as you two. So I'd like to all raise you to I'd like to ask you all to raise your glass with me, get the words out, Sean, as we toast the happy couple and wish them a long and happy marriage. Paul and Ellie.
Before you put the glasses down, I'm Nan, so a wonderful granddaughter and a new grandson, and I just wish you all the very, very best from the Pymm family and everyone else here. God bless you both.
Thank you, Nan.
See, Sean, what were you worried about? All that panicking in the toilet, saved it. You saved it.
We'll save it all for later.
Yeah, you all right, Dad? Yeah, you all right?
I have rooming right.
Told you it was fun.
So that's it from us. With that, I will hand back over to the head butler, Steve. But thank you for listening.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've got some competition. I've created a monster. Drew, that was superb. We literally had, ladies and gentlemen, 5 minutes before we sat down for our wedding breakfast for me to impart just some of the information that Drew needed to do what he did. That was spectacular. Another round of applause, please, for a true hero. Well done. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my prerogative to make the final presentation before we have our desserts. Here I have the very first champagne cork pulled from the very first champagne bottle that served our bride and groom their champagne this afternoon. Now, as we know, champagne itself is sparkly and bubbly, and I think you know far better than I that describes our bride and groom down to the ground, sparkly and bubbly. The cork itself, it's soft and pliable, yet it's able to take immense pressure and stress and still hold together. When the cork is joined with a silver coin, it instantly forms a union. exactly the same as our bride and groom did only a number of hours ago. The silver coin in this cork signifies wealth and prosperity. And as I present this to our bride and groom, I want to wish you both health, wealth and happiness today and always. The only reason, ladies and gentlemen, I became a Toastmaster was to get the kiss from the bride. And it was well worth waiting for. Before I leave, all right? Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I know certainly some of you have been looking forward to the desserts, in particular that table there with some young ones, and that gentleman there as well. So without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to announce that your desserts are served.
Thank you.